Ruben Amorim defends his failing forwards ahead of a crunch day today. Tonight, even in Spain for Manchester United. Round of 16, leg 1 for United against Sociedad. It is a massive day for Ruben Amorim. I want to talk about some clips from the press conference we didn't cover yesterday on the show as well, about Ruben Amorim talking about and specifically asked how he gets more out of his forwards, namely Garnacho, Joshua Zirkzee, Rasmus Højlund. We're going to talk about them players today and what Ruben actually said in that. I want to get your thoughts on what Ruben said here, because I've got the clip I'm going to show you in a second of what Ruben said regarding Rasmus Højlund, Zirkzee, Garnacho. A bit of luck. I kind of disagree with him a little bit. I think this is I'm not saying this is desperation. I'm not saying that this is a last roll of dice, him defending his players. You expect him to do that, of course, but still, like, we can see the stats. We can see how long it's been since Garnacho scored a goal. We can see how long it's been since Rasmus scored a goal. He doesn't know where to play Joshua Zirkzee. He talks about the fact that Chirowobby Martin has been left out of the squad. I'll touch on that as well, and why Jack Fletcher, who has been named in the squad as that third player that he could change after the January transfer window, is not with the squad tonight at this, let's just say, a massive stage in Ruben Amorim's career already at Manchester United. It does go into how important tonight is as well, a little bit more. We touched on yesterday's interview with TNT and what he said about Manchester United and the importance of what being in the Champions League next season does for him in the summer. He was also talking about how it wasn't as important as what many people are making out. There's a bigger picture. Manchester United are building something bigger than just winning a trophy this season. He kind of touches on that a little bit more in the press conference, though. I think, again, he said something in an interview that he may have to have backed up on a little bit. Maybe a bit of naivety again, as that special word that Wayne Rooney mentioned about what Ruben Amorim has said in these openly honest press conferences and interviews. So I want to get into that. I want to get into everything. But I do want to start with Ruben Amorim and what he said in his press conference yesterday about Rasmus Højlund. He was asked a question by Sky, which we've got here on the clip, about how he gets more out of the forwards that are failing right now at Manchester United.
Hi Ruben. I just wonder, for the likes of Josh, Rasmus and Alejandro, what needs to happen either for them or the team to really unlock them in terms of their goal scoring and to get them, in better opportunities?
Sometimes there are things that is hard to explain. For example, before the last match, we had some games without opportunities and create chances, and that is impossible for them to score. So it's a team thing. But I felt like in the last game, sometimes it's a luck. The way we kick the ball a little bit a meter more inside, we had opportunities to score. We didn't score. Sometimes it's really, that's it. One thing is to create situations. We created in the last game, but in certain moments we need a little bit luck to score one. And then when you score one, you take out of the big pressure and you score 2 or 3 in the next games.
A little bit of luck, a meter either there, the way that they've passed the ball or got into situations. He defends his players, I feel, there more than anything. I don't know if we could use the word excuse. Is he making an excuse for Manchester United's forwards not putting the ball in the back of the net? That's a question that you've got to ask yourself from what Ruben has said there. For me, I feel like that really is him right now. He's not so much his last hope. Really, I think we all know that he has got this season out. It's kind of a free hit season for Ruben Amorim, and he has got the blessing of the board, as you would say, and Ineos and the whole new structure that's in right now. In at the deep end, yes. Could he have got more out of these players? Probably yes. That's the argument we've got going on right now. And if his forwards aren't scoring, the pressure is on everybody else, like it's been said many a times before by everybody. But Rasmus Højlund, we can see, is, I feel, and I hate to say this, but I feel he's indefensible at the moment. I just don't see what he does. I don't see how he could actually try and cover up what his form is. Rasmus Højlund, we know he's going on 19 games if he doesn't score tonight, and this is a tough outfit. Ruben Amorim has been talking about what Sociedad are bringing tonight, the experienced international players that are in this side. They're going to eat Rasmus Højlund alive again. How do we get more out of players like Rasmus Højlund in the rest of this season? Because we cannot just give up. It feels like everybody's giving up right now. We cannot give up. But honestly, I feel like the way that Ruben's talking at the moment, I feel like he feels he cannot do anymore. And we've tried things. There's a bigger picture. Obviously, these players are just missing out. It's a little bit lucky. It's not a little bit of luck. I disagree with what Ruben said there. You make your own luck in football. And if you cannot play a simple pass several games in a row, or convert that chance several times, and this goes into Garnacho as well, he has been absolutely appalling when it comes to finishing chances. He misses a massive chance nearly every single game at the moment. That makes a difference because, like you heard there, Ruben Amorim is saying that one goal goes in and you take that opportunity and it changes the game. It does. But we don't go in front. We don't take the lead in games. How many times have we been sat there when we're chasing our tails constantly, trying to get back in games? It feels like when we go behind, everybody goes into desperation mode and everybody's game ups in terms of energy and intensity all of a sudden because we have to. Right now, we're not thinking like winners. We're thinking like losers. We're thinking like underdogs. If we can come back again, it's great. And everybody's talking about the character that Manchester United have shown over recent weeks in terms of coming back against Everton, coming back twice against Ipswich as well. And then you're going into the game this week. You're going into the game this weekend, which, to be honest, against Fulham again, going behind, coming back in, playing decent football, but still going out of the FA Cup. There's never that one more moment. There's never enough. There's never that, let's just go and be clinical, take the game to somebody, and just then we can sit back and play our game and play our system. Ruben can't play his system if he's constantly going behind. He's having to find different ways to make this work for the players, and the strikers are letting us down. I think the question was right. I think the question was exactly what it needed to be right now because they are the problem. Them forwards are really letting this football side down and letting Ruben Amorim down. The money that they're being paid, I mean, it's probably irrelevant, the money that they're being paid, but these are professional footballers that haven't scored in how long? I mean, Garnacho is 20-odd games without a goal. The last goal that we got from Joshua Zirkzee was the FA Cup third-round game. The FA Cup fourth-round game against Leicester. And that was back in January. So, really, then none of them are providing what's necessary right now. None of them are taking the chances. And in Rasmus Højlund's case, he's not even in the right positions to capitalise on what's needed tonight in these last games. And tonight he needs to be absolutely on point. He needs to be completely with it. And I personally don't see it in him. When I know that a player is just completely shot, I heard Gary Neville talking the other day, he said he just looks shot. He likes the player. He's got strength. I don't think he has. I really don't. I don't think he's got what is necessary right now for Manchester United. He's not shown his strength for me because he would have opened up positions and opportunities to score goals if he has got that strength. Yeah, you could probably say attribute-wise he's probably got that, and if it's honed in, he could maybe do a little bit more and we could get more out of him. But let's be honest, we haven't seen anything. He loses all of his duels. His duel ratio, I think he's about 77th in the league for aerial duels won. He doesn't win many of his duels, ground duels either. So when we're saying that Rasmus Højlund is strong and he's physical and he's fast, his runs are predominantly outside the box. He's not getting into the box because he feels like, and I don't know if this is a trust issue, that he's not going to get the ball. But as a striker, you have to be in a position. And then nobody could argue with you as to say, well, you're in there, no one's getting the ball to you. But he's coming out of the box. He's trying to get involved in play. He cannot play that way. He hasn't got it in him. Chido did more in that little cameo he did in linking up play with Joshua Zirkzee than Rasmus did all game. And in fact, all he has done for the last 20-odd games. Rasmus Højlund, honestly, right now, I think is a big problem for Manchester United. I don't think it's defensible. I think he's just completely off it. And I've said this before. I understand what people are saying about him and how he needs to be taken away, and he could maybe hone his skills somewhere else. I get that, and I'm totally on board with it. Right now, I don't know how is the question I'm saying, is what I'm saying right now. I don't know how we get more out of him. I just don't, because I don't think the team are playing well enough to create that one easy opportunity for him or lay one on a plate for him. There's no one that can help Rasmus but himself. He needs to be selfish in his thought of just being in a certain position and playing his role. Don't try and bring yourself into a game because you're not getting the ball. He just needs to be there to score. Look at Erling Haaland. He hardly does anything in a game, but when he's needed, he just scores the goals. And that's what he knows. That's the art of being a lone striker. I just don't think Rasmus can do it. Maybe if there's two people and he changes his system, but Ruben Amorim himself again has said yesterday he's not going to change his system. He's not going to change his formation. He is stubbornly sticking to his guns on that, and the players are going to have to fall in line. So how do we look at the forwards like Garnacho, Xerxes and Højlund getting any better if they cannot adapt to Ruben's system, which he said he's not going to change? So really, Ruben is not helping these players. He's not helping these forwards. And when asked that question, you just heard it there, what do you do? I think you have to look at it in different circumstances. I think you have to look at it in the element of luck. In games where we're not creating chances, we can't really criticise them players because there's nothing to finish. They can't score goals if we're not creating. And then you're looking into the part where he says it's a little bit of luck sometimes. Sometimes when we create chances, it's just a little bit behind. It's just a small miss here. We're not taking the lead in games. We're not going in front. The 2 games we've won in the league recently at home have been to the likes of Southampton and Ipswich, and we've gone behind in both of them games as well. We just don't score goals. We don't create enough chances, and when we do create chances, these forwards are not good enough to take them. And that is what I feel is happening right now with Manchester United. And I don't think Ruben Amorim can defend these players. I don't think there is any defence for them. They just need to be able to. They need to be able to do more. They need to be more composed. You cannot train that decision-making moment on Garnacho. You cannot train. Well, you can train Rasmus Højlund to be in a certain position. You cannot train Joshua Zirkzee to pass a poor ball in the final third when it's a simple pass. He has to be able to handle that situation themselves. And this is all in-game play. It's not like they can't do this in training or they haven't got the capabilities in training. This is that mental attitude and that strength to and confidence to actually play a game. But I think under pressure, these players are failing. And tonight, the pressure is going to be massive. They need to get the result tonight, Manchester United. They need to take something to Old Trafford because I feel like I think that's going to be a tough game as well at Old Trafford for us. Last time we played them there at Old Trafford, it was 1-0 to Real Sociedad. We know a couple of seasons back under Erik ten Hag. They've lost a few players since then, but honestly, right now, looking at it, I don't have the confidence in that front line. And when asked about Chido Obe, he just says it was different circumstances at the time. Different in a way that he wasn't in the side at the time when they were deciding on who goes into the Europa League squad and the next 3 places coming in. Obviously, Heaven and Dorgu came in January, so they took the other 2. Jack Fletcher was the 3rd one who went into Manchester United's squad. And asked about that and why Jack Fletcher's not even with the squad tonight kind of feels like a waste because we haven't got a forward. Chido is sat there waiting to play and he's put Jack Fletcher in his place in that squad and not even taking him tonight. He said he didn't train with us and I'm looking at the substitutions. I'm looking at what I can do in the game. I'm not going to waste this opportunity just for the sake of... I'm not going to waste this... Sorry, not waste it. That's the wrong word. I'm not going to use this as an opportunity just to bring another player forward. We discussed that yesterday in the press conference coverage. But I think that's where everybody's looking at that and going, you've put a player in there that you're not going to use. Surely you would have just put another forward in knowing. And then he also said that at the time... he's seen Joshua Zirkzee as another number 9. So that's coming off the back of January. And that I find strange as well from Ruben Amorim because he said that Josh was seen as another number 9 and we were alternating between him and Rasmus Højlund at that time. I don't think he was. I don't know what he's on about there with that because I didn't see that happening. Joshua Zirkzee hasn't been playing at number 9 for a long time now. So it's interesting how he answered that question. I don't think he's got the answers right now. I just feel like, again, and it comes back to what we've always been saying, that he's walked into what he thought was going to be a better squad, and it's not there. It's non-existent. He hasn't got what he thought he was getting, and he thought these players were probably a lot better than what they've actually shown so far, and that's what we're up against. That's where Manchester United and Ruben Amorim are at right now. Get your comments in the comments section, everybody. Make sure that you have given the video a like as well. Please, everyone, let's get them likes up over 100. Slightly earlier today, sorry about that, everybody. We have got other things going on, and it is a really busy day today. And don't forget, we will be back with all of your match day content later on, starting at 1:30 today. So we're going to be doing a 1:30 show in warm up. We're going to be doubling that up on Big Up as well, so we could get your thoughts on the game as well if you want to come along and join us on that show, because we're going to be doing 2 together on that. So busy day. All of the content after the game. We have got the watch along here on FUTV later as well. The big one. Can United get the win? Can we be celebrating together tonight here on FUTV when United put, one foot into the next round? Let's hope so. But, right, let's get into the comment section on this, everybody. And let's get into what your thoughts are and how you see what Ruben Amorim has said there. I've put the clip up. I'll play it again a little bit later on for you as well, just in case you have come into the show a little bit late and haven't heard that clip yet and what we're actually talking about. Rudresh says decision making in the final third is what he's struggling with. He is simple, hopeful now, and who would have even blame him? He is simply hopeful now, right? As in hopeful, as in what they can do. I'm sorry, I misunderstood what you said there. Nick says, why has the board backed the previous manager? Sack him, then bringing in a manager who plays a completely different system and needs energy. That was their fault and their mistake for keeping Ten Hag in the summer. Completely, we've said this before. It says it all when Andy Cole scored more in one game versus Ipswich than both Højlund and Xerxes combined this season. Yeah, we're going right back there to the glory days. I think that's easy to use as a comparison right now, but you only have to look at even modern day players when we've not even been that great and compare them to the likes of Rasmus and Xerxes. I mean, you could say, like, look, players that haven't been here that long, like Cavani, players like that. When Zlatan came in, the time was up and they were still great players, but you just knew the difference there. That was a striker, even at the latter stage of his career, that you could guarantee was going to score you a goal. There's no guarantees at all with Rasmus or with Joshua Xerxes or with Garnacho now. And that's the problem. And the issue that we have got, and the issue that Ruben Amorim has got, is that these forwards right now are completely shot of confidence. And that's what Gary Neville was saying yesterday as well. They're completely deprived of confidence. And there's no way that Manchester United right now in this system and what Ruben is playing, and like he said in that press conference, he is not going to change the way that he plays. He's never going to move away from what he's been successful with. And these strikers are struggling within that system. And he's putting it down to luck and certain moments and decisions. I don't think Ruben Amorim can get any more. Because the question was asked, how do you get more out of these players and these forwards? I don't think he can get any more out of these players than what he's already got. And that is a worrying sign going ahead for Manchester United. I just don't feel like he is prepared to give them any more. Obviously, he's backing them, and he's hoping that they can take that moment. And that, I feel, is all he can do right now. It's all he can do. Rasmus Højlund, will he score tonight, is the poll we put up. Just putting that up there so you can all get involved in it. Do you think Rasmus Højlund will score tonight? Is he going to end his duck? I want to get right behind Rasmus Højlund, I really do. And you know what? I will be the happiest Manchester United not player, God. I would get into that team right now, I think. I would be the happiest Manchester United fan on the planet tonight if Rasmus Højlund scored. I really would. I want him to I want him to be successful, I do, because I see effort, I see endeavour, I see everything in Rasmus Højlund except quality. And that, unfortunately, is the issue right now. He hasn't got the time to get any better. And I feel like Ruben Amorim is saying he isn't going to give him the time. He has to figure it out himself. He has to understand what Ruben wants from this system for him. And unfortunately, for Rasmus, there are other players at in this team right now that are also struggling desperately with this system that are not going to help Rasmus Højlund. He's on his own. He needs to be disciplined and some. And you know what? Tonight, if he didn't come and drop really deep and get involved in play and just stuck in his area, got in between defenders, made it awkward, gave the opportunity to Bruno maybe to play one over the top, which I think is Rasmus's strength. I would love that tonight. I would give him all my backing on that tonight. I think that's what he has to start doing. I've said this before, and I've said he needs to decide what type of striker he actually is. And that is one that's going to come and hold the play up and link play and spin off, or just a player over the top, that pace. Because I think Rasmus running with the ball is 20 times better than Rasmus with his back to goal. He can't play that role. He wants to. I can see he wants to actually be this all-around striker. He hasn't got the capabilities. He really hasn't. I don't think he's got it in his game to be what he wants to be. And he's got this vision in his head of this striker that he wants to be, I feel. I think Rasmus is a million miles away from. We give Rasmus one shot target, then we think he's going to score leads or loads, I think you're supposed to say there, mate. Cheers for that, Ray. Tomo in Thailand, if Rasmus must play, puts him on the wing instead and let him run the channel. I just don't think he's good enough for that either, to be honest. I don't think he knows how to make them runs. He is a centre forward. He's used to playing in the middle. I know he makes some runs down the channels sometimes, but who else is going to go into the centre forward position? Because there's no one else to put the ball in the back of the net. If anything, you need Rasmus there because he's more used to getting in and around that 6-yard box. Ideally, we need Chido, to be honest. We need Chido up there, but it's just not going to happen. Culture Day done. It's match day today, so it's get the main street party Asia and get on the San Miguel. Place has filled up with Reds since yesterday, and there's nothing like a European away game. Nice one, Gary. Højlund was never good. He only scored 10 EPL goals last year and 2 this year. Only Erik ten Hag thought 65 million was a good deal for Højlund. It's a lot of money for a player that hasn't scored a lot of goals in the first place. That was the issue from the start. Did anyone see the Liverpool game last night? Slot has the look of the gods. They got absolutely battered but won. No, I have put that. I've done that on Football Talks, actually. I give my verdict on Liverpool last night. Do you know what? Outstanding defensive performance and goalkeeping performance from Alisson last night for Liverpool. But that level watching that football last night, wow, is all I'll say. It's wow. Watching that PSG and Liverpool game last night puts everything in perspective for United and where we're at right now. When I'm watching Kvaratskhelia, Barcola, Dembele absolutely tear Liverpool apart, but not score goals. Obviously, we know that they are going to score goals, and it was one of them freak nights last night where Alisson saved everything and he was outstanding. But that level of team is where United used to be. And that level of performance, intensity and quality is where United used to be. And now we are a million miles away from it. And like I said last night, that Manchester United in moving forward, we're up against it. We are really up against it. We cannot afford to have these poor performances anymore. We need to get back into the Champions League. Winning the Champions League gets you into the FIFA World Club Cup. And like I said yesterday, the FIFA World Club Cup now is paying absolute fortunes to anybody who's in it. And to be in it, you have to have won the Champions League. So Chelsea are in it. Within the last 4 years, you have to have won a Champions League. Chelsea are in it, Manchester City are in it, and City are just going to keep on getting absolute millions and millions. They're going to be in that competition, which they could end up taking around £100 million from. And then everything else that I said yesterday with other teams, the Saudis are going to come into play soon. Manchester United are going to be left behind. We need to act very, very quickly. And being in the Champions League is absolutely huge. Can United win this Europa League? On paper, yes, we can. We are unbeaten in this competition so far. We've had some tough away games. There are tough games to come. Has this team got it in them to actually play European football? We have played our best football this season in Europe. I think we can safely say that. Is there any chance that United can turn this season around and actually win in Europe? That's the question I'm asking right now. Have we got anything in us that tells you that we have got a chance of winning this Europa League? Because that is absolutely huge for United right now. Glenn with a super chat says, to be fair to Ruben, Josh and Rasmus was rotated more before, and Ahmad and Mainu injuries, which both happened after the deadline for the squad. Yep, in terms of that and not bringing in Chido, you did right about that, Glenn, because obviously the injury to Ahmad, the injury to Kobe Mainu, both who play in 10s, would have given us that little bit extra. Ahmad has been a massive miss for United. I would have actually given us a chance this season in the Europa League if Ahmad actually stayed fit. I think with that type of player and that quality of player and what we're missing with him, you want these other players to step forward, but every single one of them is in shocking form right now. I mean, Xerxes getting better. He's getting better in bits, isn't he? But let's be honest, that none of them are at the level of what Ahmad was. Kobbie Mainoo wasn't playing great, but he was another option at 10, and we could have mixed it up and rotated. And that really is where United are going to struggle going into the rest of this season. We don't have the options. Chido, I think, is going to play a massive role now going forward in the Premier League, but it's only going to be in the Premier League. It feels like the season is over if we go out to Real Sociedad. Stephen Brown, welcome to the Members Club. Thank you for that, buddy. Indy says, Adam, you done well on Sky yesterday. Come across really well, mate. You'll be soon on there like Flex. Don't need to be, mate, to be honest. I'm happy with you guys in here. Let's keep it YouTube. But thanks for that, buddy. Really appreciate that. Yeah, they're very picky on who do you actually put on to Sky. But yeah, I thought it went well anyway. But cheers for backing me up on that one, buddy. I hope Eli Harrison gets minutes over Onana. Is looking dodgy because Harrison is a class goalkeeper and deserves his chance. Well, the goalkeeping situation I think will come to the fore in the summer. I think United will be playing with a different goalkeeper in the summer. I really do. I don't think Onana will last. We're going to have to just pray that Andre Onana actually does have a normal game. I think we could say normal. I think normal is what we want from him. We don't need any theatrics. We just need him to be We need him to be that player that you expected him to be in goal. We're not expecting miracles from him. We're going to change it in the summer. Just at least be enough to get us through the bleeding Europa League. That's all I'll say. Xerxes is good in his space. It's just his space is very small due to the limited running ability. Once though, I seen him make a run off the ball like a pre-Ian Wright. 5:15 kickoff in Spain. Do the Spanish have jobs? That's UEFA. I'm sure they wouldn't want to be doing it at that time, but yep, that is UEFA for you. So the kickoff tonight is 5:45 England time. Yeah, so make sure that you've got that in. We are the early game tonight, and all the coverage does kick off around about 6 o'clock here on FUTV. We are doing a full-on watch-along, everybody, so make sure that you're there. We've got a jam-packed day full of content for you, actually. It's very, very, it's intense, is what it is right now today for Manchester United, and I feel like I'm building myself up to something that's going to go wrong. I can't help but feel that way. In other news as well, around Manchester United, United are in formal negotiations with Rosario Central to sign Rosario Central to sign centre-back Juan Gimenez, 18-year-old centre-back, again, Argentinian under-19 international. United again hitting the South American market, apparently. We will see what comes of that. And obviously, I think a sign of what's to come in the summer. Again, all of these rumours about players, younger players that we've never heard of, I think it's going to be the way that Manchester United move forward. I think we're going to have to get used to this, actually. Let's get some more comments in the comment section, please, everybody. Please give the video a like as well. Let's get that up over 200 live likes. We have gone a little bit earlier today. If you're wondering why, we're nearly half an hour into the show already. Very busy day ahead, so make sure that you actually are fully up to date with everything. We have been talking about Ruben Amorim's press conference comments regarding the front three at Manchester United and why they cannot score goals. There are many more people in the room with us right now, so I'm just going to play that clip again, and then you can get your comments in on this and what you feel Ruben is getting at with it.
Hi, Ruben. I just wonder, for the likes of Josh, Rasmus and Alejandro, what needs to happen either for them or the team to really unlock them in terms of their goal scoring and to get them, in better opportunities?
Sometimes there are things that is hard to explain. For example, before the last match, we had some games without opportunities and create chances, and that is impossible for them to score. So it's a team thing. But I felt like in the last game sometimes it's a luck. the way we kick the ball a little bit a meter more inside. We had opportunities to score. We didn't score. Sometimes it's really, that's it. One thing is to create situations. We created in the last game, but in certain moments we need a little bit luck to score one. And then when you score one, you take out of the big pressure and you score 2 or 3 in the next games.
That's what we was talking about at the top of the show in terms of Ruben's thoughts on how he gets more out of Rasmus Højlund, Joshua Zirkzee, Alejandro Garnacho, and why United are not scoring enough goals. We're not taking the lead in games. That's the problem that Manchester United have got right now. And Ruben asked the question directly from Sky last night in his press conference, how he gets more. I don't know how he gets more out of these players. I really don't. But let's be honest, we all sit here in hope that they can discover something themselves. We discussed earlier on that Ruben Amorim is not going to change his system. He's not going to change his ways. And these players failing in his ways is kind of a worry, because that means that they're never going to improve if they're struggling right now. And let's be honest, since Ruben Amorim's been in and we're looking at these runs in games and these goals scored by these players, just look at what's actually happening right now. Ruben Amorim is 24 games in? 24, 25 games in, I think, into his time at Manchester United. And when you look at the amount of games and the runs that these players are on in the forward line, this is all under Ruben Amorim. And this system is destroying these players. They are not capable of adapting to what Ruben Amorim wants. I mean, Garnacho's 20 plus games. So since Ruben Amorim come in, I think what's he done is he scored 1, I think, in his whole time. I can't remember when he actually scored last, Garnacho, right now. It might have been... I can't even remember anymore. That's crazy. Someone in the chat will tell me the goal last time Garnacho scored. Rasmus Højlund was Victoria Pilsen back in December. So... I mean, what we've got to look at is, really, can they actually get any better if Ruben Amorim isn't going to change anything? I don't think they can. I don't think they are. We have another poll running right now. Will you be joining me for the FUTV watch along later tonight? Get voting on that as well, please, everybody. Hopefully you can get a few more of you in. It will be good tonight. I think if we get plenty of people in, we're going to win tonight. We're going to just manifest a win. We're going to manifest everything that Manchester United are going to do that's good tonight. And yeah, I've just seen something funny that was sent me. Sorry about that. That's a bit unprofessional of me to laugh at something else like that. But yeah, just to get back, there's a few people in the chat talking about the kickoff time tonight. It is 5:45 tonight, the kickoff. And if you are working, I'm sorry. It's just UEFA and what's actually happening right now. But yeah, we will be live from around about 6 o'clock this evening, everybody. So make sure that you are honed in, ready to go. It's the usual sort of showtime that we do normally, like 6 to 6:30. So it's the usual time for us here on FUTV. So make sure that you're tuned in later for that. I know it sounds cliche, but due to the number of United important players injured, United won't win the Europa. I do want them to win it, yes, but definitely, but we have to be realistic. I know we have to be realistic, but there is an element of hope and shameless hope in there that United could actually turn this around this season and actually get the win. I don't know, honestly. And what can United do? We're going to be talking about the Sociedad game later on in the warm-up. I'm going to get your thoughts on this as well, because we're going to do a bit of a call-in show ahead of the game as well, after the warm-up show around about 1:30 today. So approximately 2 o'clock-ish, we're going to have a call-in as well for you guys to have your thoughts. So make sure that you are, make sure you're ready, your bell notifications are on, and you're ready to rock and roll later on to have your say on what you think is going to happen tonight. How you would play it, I think, is what we're going to say. He sounds to me like he's had a meeting and is saying to them, okay, clean sheet, start from now, says Frank. Maybe, but what's the clean sheet all about? What are we talking about here, Frank? That's the thing. It's like they failed before. I don't think he needs to give him a clean sheet. They're struggling under his system, and he's hoping that they can discover something more. I think that's what we're looking at the end of the day here. And that, I think, is the problem that we've got right now. I just don't know if these players have got the capabilities to adapt anymore or do anything more than what they've already been doing. And let's be honest, Garnacho was this inconsistent last season with chances. He's still inconsistent now. So you're talking about characteristics like Amorim says. You're talking about quality of players like Amorim has said there, decision making. that pass is about a metre too forward or a metre too much behind them. Them decisions, it's a bit of luck. We can't really be relying on luck. We need players that are actually going to do something. And then using Chidowabi as an excuse as to say, look, he created this in different circumstances. No, Chido was in a position where a centre-forward needed to be. Rasmus Højlund doesn't get in them positions. That's his problem. And that, I feel, is where Rasmus Højlund is severely lacking right now in Manchester United's team and in this system with Ruben Amorim. I think that's where he is going to have to change. So that's what I think needs to happen. That's where I feel Rasmus needs to be a little bit more selfish. Like, don't get involved in the play. But if them forwards and them midfielders know you're going to be in a certain position every part of this game, and they get used to you being in that position, and that ball is easier for them to play off the cuff. They're not having to look up as much and find you because they don't know where you're going to be. He just needs to stick to a role. And I think he needs to learn this system. He just needs to be a little bit more like Erling Haaland, who doesn't really get involved that much, but is where he needs to be. I know you can't trust the rest of the team because they're failing as well, and they're all struggling, and you're probably not going to get a chance. But at least that way, we can at least say and defend Rasmus Højlund in a way and say, look, he's in the right positions, he's in the right places, but the ball's just not coming to him. Right now, he's dropping off and giving the ball away and wrestling with players that he doesn't need to wrestle with. If that's going to be his game, it's going to be easy for defenders to absolutely batter Rasmus Højlund, and he doesn't stand a chance. He doesn't stand a chance. He's got to learn his craft a little bit more, I think, is what Rasmus Højlund's got to do. Anyway, everybody, that is the show all wrapped up this morning. Slightly early, I've just got a few things to do today, so I will see you all a bit later on, about 1:30 for the warm-up show, so make sure that you're there, everybody. Please give this video a like on the way out. That should take us over 200 live likes. Thank you for the early birds and everybody who's joined us a little bit earlier tonight. I will see you all later on. Have a fantastic day, and here we go, Manchester United. This is the one, this is the big one, Europa League night. I'm going to try and make myself feel a little bit more confident before going into the game later. But for now, that's us done. Cheers, everybody.